with that, we're starting the next game that we're going to be playing on this channel, Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. This is another game from my childhood, as you can probably tell by the quality of the 3D models and everything. I'm going to be starting a new game here.
I have spent my life searching for the answers that my father and my father's fathers failed to find. Who were the precursors? Why did they create the vast monoliths that litter our planet? How did they harness eco, the life energy of the world? What was their purpose? And why did they vanish? I have asked the plants, but they do not remember. The plants have asked the rocks, but the rocks do not recall. Even the rocks do not recall. Every bone in my body tells me that the answers rest on the shoulders of a young boy. Oblivious to his destiny, uninterested in the search for truth, and rejecting of my guidance. And why would he want to listen to old Samos the Sage anyway? I'm only the master of green eco, one of the wisest men on the planet.
You're looking pretty rough.
So it seems the answer begins not with careful research or sensible thinking. Nay, as with many of fate's mysteries, it begins with but a small act of disobedience.
Hey! Jak, old green stuff told us not to come here.
Continue your search for artifacts and eco. If the locals possess precursor items, you know what to do.
Deal harshly with anybody who strays from the village. We will attack it in due time.
What are we doing here anyway, Jak? This place gives me the creeps. Huh? Oh, stupid precursor junk. Eek! What is that dark ooze? It sure don't look friendly. The sage yaps on about the precursors that built this place all the time. Where did they go? Why did they build this crud? Now, I like precursor orbs and power cells as much as the next guy. But if you ask me, they must have been real losers. Wow! How did you do that? Jak, I think we're in trouble! Man, that stung!
Oh my god.
I told you we shouldn't have come here, and you listened! What? Okay. I'm fine.
What in green tarnation do you two want?
I was...
Don't tell me! Instead of heeding my wisdom, the two of you went mucking around in the only place that I told you not to go. Misty Island.
That's right, and then...
And, Daxter, you finally took a much-needed bath, but in a bathtub filled with dark eco.
Look, old man, are you gonna keep yapping, or are you gonna help me out of this mess?
I'm gonna keep yapping, because in my professional opinion, the change is an improvement. And besides, I couldn't help you if I wanted to.
What?
There's only one person who has studied Dark Eco long enough to have a chance at returning you to your previous form. Carl Acheron, the Sage. But he lives far to the north. Far, far to the north. Nobody has spoken to him in ages. I would teleport you there, but I can't do that either. None of the 3 sages that maintain the other teleporter gates have seen fit to turn their ends on for quite a while. The only other way north is by foot through the Fire Canyon, but its volcanic soil is hot enough to melt precursor metal. You can't just walk through it.
But you could fly over it if you had a zoomer equipped with a heat shield. I just happen to be working on such a thing at this very moment. All I would need is 20 power cells to give it enough energy to withstand the canyon's heat. Isn't that right, Daddy?
Yes, Kira, that might work. But where are a boy and a half going to get 20 power cells?
From the villagers. Most of them have a power cell or 2 stashed away somewhere. And even if they aren't willing to just give them away, greasing their palms with a few precursor orbs should do the trick. And I bet there are even more of them out in the wilds just waiting for some brave adventurer to find.
Well, we've got the brave adventurer at least.
Brave adventurer! You two couldn't find your way out of the village without training. Before you do anything else, you better go through the warp gate and get some practice on Geyser Rock.
We won't find any more of that dark gooey eco stuff, will we? 'Cause I'd hate to fall in again and turn into you.
Get in there before I turn you both into ferns. You
All right.
can't come back through the warp gate until you find all 4 power cells on this island.
Alright, so right away, again, I'm gonna fix the camera. Oh no. Okay, I'm just gonna have to get used to this camera now. Controls are a little bit weird too. The pause menu can only be opened and closed with start. Okay, this is gonna be an adjustment. The camera is reversed. Huge gripe right off the bat. This is another game from my childhood, Jak and Daxter, and this is the first game in the series. And this game was actually emulated very nicely on PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and it's very accessible. You can find it in any of the PlayStation stores that are still up and running, so I think just PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. And it's really nicely emulated, plays very smoothly. A little bit of stuttering here and there, but runs pretty nice.
These floating egg-shaped things are precursor orbs. Collect enough of them, and some of the villagers will give you a power cell in exchange.
And it's a collectathon game. So it's a lot like a couple of other games that I really loved to play when I was little. Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64, Super Mario 64, all those classic games.
This is a power cell, the most important precursor artifact you can find. You need to collect 20 of these so I can power the heat shield for your A-Grav Zoomer.
And yeah, you run around, you collect these orbs, and you fight these enemies. They're a little bit more animated when we actually fight them. And we collect these power cells. And the power cells are going to be what control our progression through the game. Just like the stars in Mario and the jiggies in...
Hey, you found one of my scout flies. I sent 7 of them to each area to look for power cells, but the lurkers must have captured them all.
And the golden bananas in Donkey Kong 64. There are various ways in every level to get power cells. Just like that. So in every level there's going to be 7 of those that we need to collect.
That's Blue Eco. Blue Eco allows you to run fast, break boxes, and even activate some precursor artifacts.
You run through each level, you complete various tasks, and you collect all of the power cells that you can collect.
Notice,
And then you move on to the next area.
cluster you pick up increases
I'm already
use its power.
noticing that using this emulator, there's quite a bit of imperfection in this game. We're just gonna do what we can with that. I'll see if I can find some settings online As I said before, the management of this emulator is very consistent, so I'm sure there are settings that I can find online that are going to help us play this in a way that has less problematic loading. And yeah, we'll see what we can do. We're collecting this blue stuff, and there are several different kind of power-ups like that in this game. So right now we have the blue one here, which is going to help us move faster, collect things at a distance, and that's about it, really. Oh, and it activates things. So like this door over here. Good thing it let us keep that charge while he was talking. But even if not, there's a vent over there. A vent. Yeah, and that charges you up all the way. So I'm probably going to skip through a lot of this level because of all of the interrupting expositional dialogue. It's a tutorial level, so it's kind of expected, right? And yeah, that about sums up the tutorial level. There's going to be a little bit more exposition at the end of that, and then we'll really get into the game. Yeah, these little gates, we use them to warp between the sages' huts.
Good training, boys, but that's nothing compared to the challenges that lie ahead.
Then no problem. We got the moves, eh, Jack?
We'd love to stay and chat, Big Green, but we're, itching to get on with our adventures.
Fine, fine. Adventure away, then. And while you're out adventuring, why don't you make yourself useful? My darn green eco-collectors are clogged up again. Head out to the far side of the beach and clear them out, why don't you? Follow the lamps. They'll take you right there. Now, all of you, get out of here!
Alright, so we have our first directive. So this game, it takes place in their world, obviously, but it's quite an expansive world. And that being said, there's a lot of scenery change that's going to be happening throughout this game. We start out in kind of this, it looks like a beginner area. Everything's calm, peaceful, organized. Nice little village full of people. And it's quaint. It feels safe.
Hey! It looks like scout flies are always in red boxes.
Alright, I'm gonna see if I can turn off the hints. Alright. That'll cut out any unnecessary dialogue and such. But yeah, there are plenty of ways to get all of the power cells that you need. In the end, the goal of the game is to collect all of them. I don't think that we're going to be collecting all of them, or maybe if we do, I'll just speed through it at the very end. But for the time being, I'm just going to collect what I can in kind of an organic way, so that it doesn't take up all of our time. And yeah, we'll see what kind of progress that gives us. I'm going to try not to go out of my way too much to go above and beyond and what have you.
And so little time.
So something new that I'm trying with this series, and hopefully going onward, is I started recording my audio and my video separately. I have an audio recording software that I bought a long time ago, and I didn't realize, I didn't put 2 and 2 together, that I could just use that to record my audio. So I'm hoping that that gives everything a little bit better balancing, and lets me talk a little bit more without interrupting the game, or the game interrupting me. Alright, so already we see that there's a power cell here that we can probably get from this bird. So I'm gonna try to go get it. And the whole game is kind of like this. Like, it doesn't tell you exactly where to go. It just kind of tells you, hey, there's some power cells over that way. You should probably check it out. And then you go there, and you find whatever you can. And whatever you can't find, you don't really worry about it until the very end, where they tell you, hey, actually, you need to collect everything. But if you're like me, playing through this game when I was little, I always tried to close out every level before I left the zone that I was in. So like right now we're in the entry zone, I mean the beginner zone. Sandover Village, Green Sage's hut. Green being the key word. We are green in this game. We are brand new to this. And so we're just trying to learn the ropes and move on to the next area. And the enemies in this game are called lurkers. It's like a species of creatures. Well, no, I wouldn't say a species. More like of these creatures. And they're very aggressive. They mostly die in one hit. But they change. They're not all the same. So like these guys, they're lurkers, but they live in the sand as like a snake. That other guy that we saw, I'll put it right here. That pink kind of beast looking guy. Those are like the standard lurkers. You see them everywhere. And then the guy in the armor that we saw in the very beginning, where Daxter got knocked into the dark eco. That's another type, I guess. But yeah, they're all lurkers. They're all kind of under the influence of those people we saw in the very beginning. The two kind of dark elf looking people. And something's wrong with them. We don't know yet what it is, but we'll find out. You let the seagulls settle, and then you scare them off. I'm pretty sure in the newly emulated version of the game they fixed this. But in this version of the game, the camera is reversed. Oh, whoa. Scaring birds really causes some chaos, huh? Oh yeah, another unique thing about this game is that it has a day and night cycle. A lot of games at this time didn't do this kind of thing because it's a little bit complicated. The moon-ish thing way over there, they're actually going to explain that in a later game, why it looks like that. We're not worried about that right now, just kind of the way it is. Basically, all of these power cells that we are getting are rewards for solving something of a little puzzle. So in that, what we did over there, we scared the seagulls away, they blew away these rocks, and power cell came out here. And then there's something else over that way, probably. It's kind of leading us in that direction, isn't it? And then these orbs, they're not really necessary to collect all of them or anything. They just kind of make it easier to progress. If you collect enough of them, then you can buy power cells from some of the characters. And this egg is movable, so...
Good job! Now beat me down here by the egg.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Oh my! I hope the poor dear's okay. Here's a power cell for your valor.
Oh god.
Oh no! No, 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 no!
Look,
Isn't that cute? It thinks you're its mama.
Ah! I'm not your mom. You see any feathers here?
Oh, love at first sight.
Bruh.
Oh. Listen, boys. I'll take this.
If anything, she should be the mom.
With me and work with the sage to take
She's
care
got
of her.
the whole thing on her head. So the theme of this world is that there are sages of different powers, and all of the energies of the world are collected in these things called eco. So the green eco that we've been collecting, this stuff, that gives us life, and gives life to everything, really. That's why green sage is surrounded by plants, and this whole place is overgrown and full of life. The blue eco is representative of the energy of movement. It gives us speed and the ability to make other things move, to give other things power. And then there are other ecos too, but we'll find out about those later. The main one that we're concerned with is green eco, because it's going to keep us alive no matter what. So yeah, that's really nice right there. Just give us all the life we need. You have 3 hits that you can receive, and then if you collect 50, you get a new segment of your life. So you can take up to 4 in a row, basically. Once you collect 50, it caps out, so you can't just keep on collecting it after that. And yeah, wow, we've already collected pretty much all of them here. There's just one that we're missing, and I think it might have something to do with that area that we haven't been to yet. So let's check it out. There seems to be something here that we can't use, so maybe we'll have to come back here later. But for now, we'll just collect the rest of these. Maybe we can buy some power cells from the citizens of our little village. Recording the audio in this way is actually a little bit more comfortable for me, because now I can be less afraid of stumbling on my words or saying something wrong. But at the same time, I'm a little bit worried about how it's going to come out, because I have to synchronize the audio with the video, and I'm not sure how that's going to go. On top of that, I'll have to monitor the synchronization of the audio with the video throughout the editing process, which means that there's always a chance that I'm going to desync the audio. Don't want that to happen. But it'll be a little bit easier to speed through things as well when I feel like we're not making a lot of progress over a short period of time. I can just speed the game up, mute the game, keep my audio in it without having artifacting audio of the game. That was something that became a problem in the Fallout series, I noticed, because there was a lot of speeding up that I wanted to do, and I was able to speed up the game, but speeding up the audio would sacrifice my vocal audio. That compromised the quality of the speeding up of the video a little bit, because now we had like artifacted audio from the game that was kind of senselessly left in and playing in places where it shouldn't have been. So yeah, ultimately this is going to be a little bit more work, but it's going to improve the quality of the videos greatly. So I'm looking forward to that result. Alright, now let's talk to some of these people and see what they can tell us.
Hey! Little furry dude! Oh, I thought for a moment you were my muse.
Your what?
Haven't you ever seen a muse before? It's a little glowing squirrel about your size, full of spunk, and crazy as a lark.
Oh, I get it. Like a sidekick.
As a matter of fact, without my muse, I just can't sculpt. But with her around, I see beauty in everything, you know? Right now, I couldn't chisel my way out of a box. I think she ran away to that misty island. I just hope she's all right. It's worth a power cell if you bring her back to me.
Wait a minute! We are not going back to Misty Island! Are we?
I guess we will. Why not? So we got a new directive. We gotta find his muse at Misty Island. And I think the rest of these guys are just gonna ask us for orbs.
Well, hello there, my dear boy. You caught me at a most inopportune moment. I was to set off on my journeys yesterday, but I seem to be a spot short on the old precursor orbs. I would have pledged my word that I had 90 of them, but I gather that your young friend, you know, the little annoying, miserably ugly one, might have just pilfered them as a sort of a spot of fun. Anyway, would you be kind enough to loan your dear old uncle 90 precursor orbs so he can get underway? I would offer you a power cell in return.
Alright. 90 for a power cell, sure, why not?
I see you.
And I guess this guy's
to make the
Jack's
trade.
uncle.
Good, jolly good. Hey, you have the precursor orbs that we agreed on? I hope you put this hard-earned power cell to good use. Cheerio, ta-ta, bye-bye.
So it seems like Jak and Daxter aren't related in any way, they're just friends. But Daxter is a little bit of a nuisance to the village. Another thing I was going to comment on in the very beginning, I'm going to let this recording run on a little bit because I want to make sure we have enough for the first episode. Daxter... So, yeah, the animations... Oh no, do I have to do something first? Maybe I have to do something first before I can go to the island. I forgot how. But anyways, the animations are a little bit rough in this one. And that's not the game glitching, that's just how it was. I can't remember if this came out before or after Ratchet and Clank 1. Yeah, so this game came out in 2001, 1 year before Ratchet and Clank. So this was more of an experimental title on the PlayStation 2. That being the case, they still managed to accomplish a lot. So for one...
Yeah, bring in the cops, furniture right now.
Okay.
Tired bones. I've been trying to get those unreal cows back into the pen all day. Some strange creatures tried to steal them earlier. You think you could help an old man and try to get them back into the corral?
Alright. So this being an older title on the PlayStation 2, they were experimenting with a lot more. And the result was a lot of things that didn't exactly work perfectly. And it's going to be hard to draw the line between those and what is being messed up by the emulator. So the best way to experience this game, I would say, is on PlayStation 3, 4, or 5, the remastered version. It's easy to obtain, and it's pretty well flushed out. They took care of a lot of the issues that you would be seeing here. But even so, one of the biggest things that they were experimenting with when they made this game was the way that they animated the characters. There's a lot of very unique facial body animations and stuff going on that wasn't really possible on previous consoles. The result is a little bit rough. It doesn't always work perfectly, but it still gives the game kind of a unique feeling. I mean, right down to the way that Daxter interacts with Jak while he's moving and stuff. He kind of tucks in when he rolls and everything. It's kind of trailing behind him like that, like a cape almost. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of neat stuff that they did in this game. Another thing that I'm going to try to do. One of my friends mentioned to me that they were going to be watching my videos while in the gym, and I realized that that meant they were going to be wearing headphones, and I haven't really had a way of consistently controlling the audio balancing. So I'm going to start editing my videos with headphones on, make sure that all of the audio is coming out sounding exactly the same, pretty much. We'll see how that works out. Obviously, those effects are going to come out before this video comes out, so talking about it now is kind of a moot point, but I mean, it's part of the production process, isn't it? I'm just talking it out because I don't know if it's going to work. Maybe it'll work out for them. I don't know.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo! Yeah!
Thanks, man. Go back to sleep. Like Banjo-Kazooie, they took it upon themselves to make a unique animation for not every single time that they get a power cell, but a lot of times. But it doesn't get old. It's always kind of a good feeling when you get a power cell. Something that annoyed me, actually, when I played Mario 64 back on the N64, was that the animation when you get a star is pretty much always the same, and it kicks you out of the level. In this one, you get a power cell and you just keep on going. There is no beginning or end to the level. And another really nice thing that I'm sure you've noticed by now, no loading. This is something that new consoles are always trying to brag. Whenever a new console comes out, they're like, this time, we got it. No loading times. You open the game, you play the game, no loading. And you know what always ends up happening? There always ends up being a loading screen. Pretty much no matter how fast processing gets, there always ends up being loading screens because technology improves. People try to push the envelope more and more every time that a system becomes more powerful, and unfortunately that means that there's always going to be loading screens, no matter what. As soon as technology starts to advance again, there's going to be loading times. It's not really worth advertising whenever a system comes out, because it's going to happen again at some point, no matter what. Whether they disguise the loading screen as something else, or they just make it a flat-out loading screen. It's happening. And in this game, there are no loading screens, except in the very beginning when you launch the save. There's loading in between levels, of course. When you transition into a new level, there's kind of a transitionary period where you move from one level into the next, and that's the loading screen. But it's mostly unnoticeable, and it's kind of refreshing. Okay. Oh yeah, this is another mission. We would have been told about this by the mayor if we talked to him, but I forgot to talk to him. Oops. So here we're just kind of lining these up. I might need to put a seizure warning on this video because that flashing was pretty bright on my screen. I'm not sure how it's going to look for other people. And here there's another new type of lurker. It sounds like a frog. So anyways, yeah, in this game, the loading happens when you transition from one level to the next. There's kind of like a tunnel or an elevator or what have you. And that is where the loading happens. That's where the magic happens. So it's kind of nice to see in an older game that even with all of the 3D models going on and all of the special effects that they were pulling and everything, still not a bad looking game. And on top of that, you don't have to wait for it. You can just hop right in and play. So it's not wasting your time. Arguably, video games are a waste of time, but you don't have to waste your time if you were planning to already do this. Let's see what this guy has to say.
Nothing to talk about. Them monsters patrolling the ocean took a bite out of me fishing ring, and now they're gobbling up me cats. No matter what I try, I can't seem to catch a single fish in this river.
Woo! Maybe it's your friend.
You think you can do better? Try scooping up river fish with a tiny net. I'll give you a power cell if you can catch 200 pounds of them critters. And then I'll let you and Shrimp here use my speedboat to get to Misty Island.
Oh, nice.
You want to try the challenge?
Well, we kind of have to. This is one of those things that I'm going to speed through because it may take me a little while. Alright, so yeah, we just gotta kind of catch these boys and not catch any of the pink ones. And don't miss 20 pounds. So can't miss 20 of these guys or 4 of the yellow ones. Oh my god. It's a little bit finicky. But that's why I'm going to speed through it, because I don't know how many attempts this is going to take me. And if we catch even one of those pink guys, then we're done.
You did it!
Alright, nice.
200 pounds of fish.
One attempt. That's the first time that I've done that in one attempt.
Here's the power cell I promised. And you can use my boat at the village dock whenever you like.
Nice. So now we got access to another level. And a power cell. And this guy's just gonna sit here laughing for the rest of the game. I'm not even joking about that. If we came back here later, he would still be sitting there laughing. It set me off a few times as a kid. I was just like, oh my god. This is so weird that they did that. But I mean, good for him. He's happy. Another really nice thing about this game is the level design. I mean, we're just kind of wandering around, but there's always something. Over here, there's this thing, which tells us that there might be some blue eco nearby. There's this river going this way. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I'm about to die. There's a blue eco over here. Alright. Maybe we can take some of this and... Oh, never mind. We can take some of this and die, apparently. Thanks. That's okay. It just sends us back... Oh my god. It just sends us back to the beginning of the level. And we retain everything that we collected. So, not much of a punishment. There are some levels later on where that is a huge punishment. But everything here is pretty centralized, so... not too bad. And there is kind of a common theme here, like the bright side of things and the dark side of things, and in this case, it seems like this area is kind of the dark side of Green Eco. Because Green Sage is a good guy, and keeping things alive is good, so Green Eco must be good, right? Well, not if it's uncontrolled. And that's what's happening in this forest. So a little bit of environmental storytelling, too. I hope that Jak 2 and Jak 3 are going to render a little bit better than this one did, because those games have a little bit more stuff going on, and I'm worried to see what the graphical glitches are going to look like from those. Unfortunately, these games were never released on PC, unlike the Nathan Drake collections. Otherwise, honestly, I would probably just buy them again on PC. These games are really good. I enjoyed them a lot in my childhood. This one I 100%'ed. Every time that I played through it, I always 100%'ed it. And I played through it quite a few times. I think 5 or 6 times. Here we go. That repairs the bridge for us. That's kind of nice. I don't know if it keeps it up. Doesn't look like it would stay up. And those guys are clearly not okay. A little bit of platforming here. It's kind of nice too. It puts it into kind of a two-dimensional layout so that it makes that platforming a little bit easier for you. And another nice thing, the shadow always stays pretty much directly below you. So it makes platform a little bit easier that way too. This was so cool. I love that they did that. That was always so satisfying to me when I played this game. This part was kind of hard though. Platforming is a little bit slippery when it comes to stuff like this because your character is moving a little bit faster and he carries the momentum of the little elevator thing when he jumps. So you gotta kind of be mindful of that. And I'm not sure if you noticed, taking this elevator made the game stutter a little bit. That's because it's loading this area. So of course, these games are not without any kind of loading, but they do load insanely quickly for the time. And there's a lot of little areas. Alright. The music is also kind of nice. There's one later on that we're gonna hear that I absolutely loved when I was a kid. And then when it played in the credits at the end, I was like, oh my god. They did. Just a little bit of spontaneous collection there. Alright. So this is the first time we're going to see something like this. And we can check what it is real quick. If we look here, find the blue vent switch. So that tells us that all of these vents now are open. So we can vent. And also so that we can get blue eco from it. Which means the one that was closed over in the blue vent that was closed over in the other area, the beach area, should be open now. And here we have our first boss fight. We're really making strides in this game already. Oh shoot. But so we gotta hit this guy 3 times. Or something. And avoid these bullets.
Oh no!
And not have that happen. Yikes. That sounded pretty brutal. Alright. We'll beat this guy, and I think with that we'll call it an episode. Alright. He makes these nice little platforms for us. Thanks, bro. You can also see that he's got, like, pots on his vines. Maybe Green Sage was trying to grow this guy. And things just got out of control when he got into the blue eco. You can see over there, he's got a vine that's going into the blue eco vent. So maybe this is the consequence of trying to blend green and blue eco. Who knows? And this is just something I remember by chance. He's got 5 little precursor orbs in him. And yeah, that's that. Boss defeated. We're pretty much done with this area. Let's see, what are we missing? Oh, we're missing the beams and one of those scouter flies. So, you know what? We'll just finish up this area and then we'll call it an episode. I don't remember where the scouter fly could be. Oh, it's it's right there. See, that's called good game design right there. You don't have to wander around for things. Everything just kind of blends together. We can pretty easily find the next eco beam thing that we need to find by just looking where that last one went. And I'll just skip to it. Oh, it's right there. It shows us it's right there. An invaluable skill that you learn after playing this game a few times. Well, not a few times through, but in general, just a few times, is the double jump and spin kick is more valuable than any triple jump that you could have ever gotten. Because it shoots you up 2 times, and then it shoots you up a little bit a 3rd time and keeps you there. Helps a lot with the platforming to know that trick. Oh no! It'll also save you from fall damage. If you fall too far, you will take fall damage, so shooting up a little spin kick before you hit the ground is a good way to avoid that. Alright, and that is completed. Let's see. Forbidden Jungle, we're still missing... Well, yeah, we gotta return to the mayor. And we're missing another one. I'm not sure what that is. But we're not really too worried about it. We've already got 20. So... with that, we can go to the next area, actually. We just have to report to Kira, give her the 20, and we can move on. With that, we're gonna finish off this episode. Thank you for joining me for yet another classic from my childhood. This series might not take that long, because I'm not going for full completion, but we'll see. We'll see. It's a great game. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you on the next episode of Jak and Daxter. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye.